name is Ryan. I'm the owner of Classic Shoe and Leather Service in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm a third-generation cobbler with over 30 years experience. Our facility repairs all leather items. Come on in. Let's see what we're repairing today. All right, so on our lesson today, we've done a video before. One of my more popular videos has been on a Tory Burch boot that we did a stretching on, and I think one of the reasons it was popular was because it had a zipper in it. We have now, just because I like doing harder videos for some reason, we have a Balenciaga, which is a spiked heel, which stiletto is going to be a good bit more difficult to stretch. Plus we have the beautiful zipper in it as well. So I figured this would be a fun one, mainly because I'm a kid of the 80s and I remember this color, and I thought it was cute. So we're going to do it just like before. We've already gone through and conditioned the leather. This is one of the questions that people ask me. We do different types of conditioners for different types of leather. Sometimes we use a product like Lexol, which is just an oil-based conditioner. Sometimes we'll use something simpler like water or any number of different things. Sometimes we do a dry stretch. I don't recommend too many people try to do dry stretches, and water stretches are more, in my opinion, for shaping or for extreme stretching like riding boots or something like that, where you're not susceptible to having so many water stains or issues of that nature. So, but right now we condition the interior with a little bit of just lanolin. So a nice even conditioner. We're going to put a piece of leather into the bottom so that we do not destroy the nice insole on the inside with our materials. You can see I've already gotten this one ready, mainly because it was starting to fall over every time I walked by it, so I figured it'd be good to go ahead and do that. I have not actually stretched it, I've only put the forms in it. We're going to stretch both of them at the same time. So we have curved stretchers here. I actually made these myself. We're going to put these in with the curved side facing towards the outside of the calf. All right. At that point in time, we're going to put one of the wedges in, like this. And that's actually just to kind of put a little space in there so that these don't just fall all over the place. All right. We're going to do a second wedge. And when we do this one, we're actually going to pull these up and into place where I actually want them to sit specifically so that it hits the calf in the right place. Then we're going to put the wedge in like this, and we're going to push down. Okay, so that gets, you can see the curve to the calf right here. So that's going to match. We're going to start putting some pressure on this. It takes roughly about 600 pounds of pressure per square inch to stretch out leather. The zippers on here, unfortunately, can't usually take that amount of pressure, so we have to be very, very careful and kind of defy the laws of physics a little bit. Not really, but we're going to put a lot of pressure on this to get the leather to move. But it's a delicate material. It's a nice boot. It is very, very easy to do damage to. So we're going to start off and just kind of push the wedge in really, really slow, a good bit of pressure by hand. You'll see the bottom is actually moving a little bit. Right here, we got a little bit of play. That's because this one is not actually going to set directly on the boot. It's going to set back here on the heel where it's got some stability. And that's where our pressure is going to come from for our downward force on this. So, what we're trying to do is we're trying to create enough pressure to actually stretch out the leather. You can see right now with the way that I'm pushing this in and bending it, I'm not pushing very hard, and you can see I can move it very easily. Okay? You can see on this side, very easy movements to bend in. All right. All right, so that's going to put more pressure on it, you can see. And we've definitely gotten more pressure on it. It's a little bit harder to push in. You can see right here, it's gotten harder to push in. I'm not going to hit that wedge anymore. Start a new wedge. Now it's important as to where you place the wedge in here. I already have a lot of pressure in the center right here, and I have a lot of pressure coming down the back side and down the front side. My choice is, do I want to put it on the front side right here and put more pressure towards the arch or the shin area, or come towards the back side of the calf? Since the zipper's right here, I'm going to prefer to go to the back side. Okay. Now this is the tricky part, getting that to go in there without too much difficulty, like that. And that sets it up. You want to try and get it, make sure it's pretty straight. Now here I'm actually going to hold it while I'm hammering because I don't want it to move very much. The other part is, you'll see, it's a good weighted mallet. It's dummy weighted, but I'm not actually putting any force behind it when I'm hammering. I'm not doing that. I'm kind of letting the weight of the hammer deadfall, and that's what's actually driving it in. And the reason I do that is because that is a really, really nice way to make sure that you're not putting too much pressure on the leather too fast. The wedge will actually slow down its movement as the pressure increases. And you can see now we've got a good bit of pressure right there. That's not moving at all. And over here is very, very stiff. Okay, so that's about as much pressure I'm going to put on that. Zipper's still solid. All right, show you the difference between the two. And see how tight this one is. This one, because it just has the forms in it, still very loose, very, very pliable. How it started out on the other one, that's the difference. Okay. Also, you can see the difference in the actual size of the calf. Oh, that's a good idea. Let's do a measurement. Don't fall. We'll start with our starting measurement, which I believe was 15 inches. And you want to measure the largest part of the calf. Our starting measurement on the outside of the calf is just over 15 inches, 15 1/8. Okay, let's see what we moved. Come on. All the tassels. Okay, and we are just over 16 1/2. We got 16 5/8. That's pretty good for the first stretch. Very, very good for the first stretch. Now, not all of that stretch is actually going to remain. Here's the answer to another question. We leave our stretchers on for 1 week once we put them under pressure. The reason that we leave it for 1 week is because leather has an elasticity to it, much like a rubber band. We want the leather to actually get into position to where it sets into a memory position in the stretch. Otherwise, it'll simply pull right back to its original position. So the 1 week is important for that. Also, when the customer picks them up after they've tried them on and make sure that they have stretched enough. Sometimes we do multiple stretches to get it larger and larger and larger. But once it gets to the actual person's proper size, then they have to wear it to actually allow it to conform to their body. And that's a little bit of a process that they go through as well. So you get a little bit of homework when you get your stretch. All right, so we're going to go ahead and do this one. I'm going to pull this wedge out a little bit so that we can reset this properly. Exactly where it's supposed to be. There we go. Go ahead and push that down. That's a short wedge. Right there. Yep. All right. Now you can see the zipper is actually set a little bit different than the other one, and that happens from the manufacturer sometimes. And that one was actually angled a little bit more forward. This one being directly in the center, I actually might put my center wedge in a different place. I think I'm actually going to put it right here. Come on, open up. It does not want to open, so we do it the other way. All right, so you got it like that. All right, let's do this. This one's already a lot tighter. Oh yeah, that one's almost there already. Wow. Just a little bit more. All right, so you see how the wedge has just absolutely slowed down a lot. Push this back over so we don't have any problems there. Yeah, that wedge is slowing down. Okay, so we are there. Let's do a secondary measurement and see if we match. Not nearly as much. Oh, there it is. Wrong place. There we go. 16.5. So we're off by 1/8. That's not bad. But they're both under pressure. They feel good. They'll sit for a week to get into that shape. Just come back in, try them on, see how they feel. If they feel good, then we'll get them going. By the way, this was a fun color. We actually had a whole bunch of scuffs and everything over this. We did some top soles on them, replaced the heels, and they had a whole lot of scuffing and everything all over them. So we went through and dyed. You can see just a little bit of the color right there and on the toes and whatnot. This was definitely one of the more fun colors to match. But we do a lot of touch-up dye work here, and that's just one example. Well, I hope you all enjoyed this lesson in leather today. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time.